Hey guys, thank you guys for buzzing in with Ryda. Today we have owner of CineDirektorFilms, Everett Jones. How you doing today, Mr. Everett Jones?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. And you're doing big things with your show. I seen you just come up with your show as a concept and just took off from there. You move very quick.
Thank you so much. So would you let us know a little bit about who Everett Jones is?
All right, so Everett Jones, up and coming director at this point. I got some good credits to my name. Marty Price, Boosie, Lil Zane, Final Draft. We did a live recording with NBA YoungBoy here in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Some official names, on our docket right now.
Oh, and how was that?
That was great. Seeing that during this COVID time that so many people were just eager to come out, even to a live event, no matter how many people would be coming out, and even the fact that they wouldn't even know, necessarily each other, they still came out to a close confine, had a great time, and it was more about the people getting out there and getting their mental health together, instead of just being cooped up in the house and just having a good time. They had young people coming out, older people coming out, and it was great.
When did you know when you wanted to start filming?
Yes, it goes back to really being, about 10 years old. And I was watching a show called Entertainment Tonight. That was back then, they would actually show you more of the behind the scenes with the cameras and the actors and the boom pole operators. And something just sparked in me, and I was like, man, that looks cool. I'm not necessarily a person that would be in front of a camera, but I definitely would like to be like either a director or be a cinematographer. And so around the age of 12 to 13, at the time I was over in England, and my dad, he was in the military. So he was like, man, if you want to get a camera, they cost a lot of money, but there's something called delayed gratification. Mm-hmm. You got to save up, and it might take you months, it might take you a year, it might take you a decade, but after saving up, you'll end up getting it. So the next thing I did was I started a lawn cutting service, and I cut grass, for people that were in the military, off the base. We lived off base, and I only saved up like $300, but this is the thing, the camera was $600. So this is like a Sony Handycam back in the day.
Right.
So, it wasn't like now you could just go get a camera, you use your cell phone and just keep moving. As kids these days, they can do that. Back then, there was nothing. There was no Final Cut for you to edit on. There's nothing for a home consumer to edit on at all. So you would just have your camera and just film. Okay. So I saved up just that $300, and Christmas came around, and I still didn't have the camera, and I'm going through all my presents, opening them up, from the biggest into the largest, package. And I finally got to one package, and I'm like, man, what is this? And I start opening it up, and lo and behold, here's the picture right here. I still got the picture. My pops, he put the $300 with it. Oh, it's out of focus. My pops, he put the other $300 with the $300 I had, and he ended up getting me this Sony Handycam. So this is me at age 12, 13, and I got my first camera. We were making movies. We were making animations, me and my brother. But we had no way to even animate anything. Not animate anything, but even edit anything, but we had a good time. It was pretty cool because I was able to use that same camera for assignments in high school. So other kids were turning in assignments on PowerPoint. I was turning in my assignment on video. So I remember for the English class, they was like, hey, we're gonna start studying Romeo and Juliet. So right. I pulled up and I had like a Romeo and Juliet animation, so I used, I had my little sister's little egghead looking toys, little short ones. Uh-huh. So, I built like a little set out of some shoe boxes and whatnot, and doing stop motion animation, and did the voiceover. As I press record, I would jump in and start talking real quick, but you gotta stop it because if not, it'll sound real jittery. Have some music in the back. It got real technical, but it worked. And
that's dope, though. That's dope to even know that you use the same camera that you bought at the age of 12 to high school.
Yeah,
that is dope. So let me ask you, what is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it in the whole filming industry?
All right, so I would say something that may be a downfall is that I took a 10-year break off. I was a church musician, and so I was more focused on the music. And at the time I was doing music production for secular artists and things like that. And so, you can't, I say you can't say you can't, but it's a little tough to do video editing and then also do music production and learning music. It's like, you know, you gotta spend time at each craft
Right.
in its entirety versus devoting half time to it. So that, I would say, taking that time off, I don't want to say it set me back, because, you know, you can pick up in life and just continue going, you know.
Correct.
But I would have liked to have, you know, to know what I'm doing right now. If I would have stuck, I won't say stuck with it, but if I'd have, you know, but then maybe I would have been telling that same story that, hey, if I was stuck with music, so never mind. But yeah,
right.
that was a situation. It's a situation in which I took off that 10 years, and, you know, and it's almost something I look back on and say, what if? It's just like a what if. But
Right.
either way, I'm still back. I'm still doing my thing, so it's all fine.
What are one of the best resources that helped you along the way?
All right. So when I was age 17, I was blessed enough to get hired at a news station. And so working at an actual news station as a studio videographer, as a field videographer, and as a studio editor. Now, this is back in the day where we're working with tapes. You know, there was no digital editing going on at that point. That was pretty much why I learned a lot of the techniques that I still use today, you know, and the discipline and the what you call expertise and the excellence and the professionalism, just by working at a news station. Because with that, your work is always on display. So, you know, we just had a technical difficulty a second ago, which I think we're going to edit out. But at a news station, anybody that's at home watching that broadcast, they see it, you know. So with that particular craft, I honed my skills in just being a perfectionist at what I had to accomplish, you know, for that production for the news station.
What's one thing you wish you would have learned in the beginning of your career?
All right, something that I wish I would learn in the beginning of my career. I would say that I wish I would have known that cameras would have gotten a lot better, because that's one of the things that happened. And that's one of the reasons too, now I'm thinking about it, besides music, I stopped in the industry because I wasn't satisfied with the quality of the cameras. I was looking at movies and I was like, these cameras that, you know, and I spent $2,500 on it. It's called a Canon XL1S back in the day. And they were using those cameras. I think for MTV, there's another one called a DVX 100B. They're using them for MTV, but they still didn't look like movies, you know, like the movie quality. And so that was one of the reasons too that I got. I was like, this don't even look right. I was like, I don't want to go film somebody's wedding and it's not looking like a movie. And so for me, I was like, nah. But I wish I would have known that cameras would have eventually gotten better, because that might have just, you know, it might have stayed in the game.
Right. And I've seen a lot of your projects, and I give you big ups on what you're doing as well, coming from out here in Florida, period. Now, if you could work with any artist, who would it be and why?
All right, you know, I would really work with any artist. The reason I say that is because every artist, they have their own personality. They have their taste. You know, I'm a person that's a learner. So for me, I like to learn. So I think that working with any artist, there's a learning opportunity to be had. You know, now, I mean, to really answer your question, to work with director Chris Brown. You know, he's a director. He directs a lot of his films, and they're like movies. I think the sauce that he's using for his films are modeled, I believe, after Michael Jackson, where Michael Jackson paved that way of making his music videos into mini movies. You know, right? So they're using high-end production. You know, bringing out all the greatest equipment and things like that. But then I would say working with Lil Wayne. You know. You know,
those are two great, and those are two great artists. I'm not even gonna lie. Chris Brown is all-time favorite. So, yeah. If you weren't pursuing directing or filming, what would you be doing?
Great question. This comes to my mind pretty much every day. Back in high school, I took a criminal justice class, and I got a B in that class. In college, I studied, I was at UCF, I studied criminal justice and video production. And then back in 2012, 2013, I went to Valencia for paralegal studies. And I got pretty much all A's and 2 B's, and so I started a tech company for children. So I would consider myself, you know, I'm humble when I say this, but at the same time, I speak in, with confidence, a master at the law, and law is very, very vast and broad, but I would say more specifically when it comes to like labor law, because I like to see people that are at work getting pushed around, bullied, and different things like that. I hate stuff like that,
Correct.
So I would be a lawyer. My mom, she told me a story, a funny story. She says that back in the day, I think, but either before I was born or shortly after I was born, she said she went to one of those palm readers, and they said that your son's gonna be a lawyer. So I find it interesting because she never pushed me in that direction, but that always sits on the back of my mind. So really in business, I use it in business. So, so by me going to Valencia, I learned how to draft legal documents, contracts. All of our professors were lawyers. So they did their practice and they would come in. So I think in business, it's always good to have somebody on the team that, is going to look at something from a legal standpoint,
Correct. That is true.
So it's interesting that my brain is creative, but then it'll streamline into the legal side. So I'll be a lawyer.
And that's an interesting field. Very good.
Yeah.
So I know you work with one of our Florida own Marty Price.
Oh yeah.
How is that working with him?
Hey, listen, when I first met the gentleman, I knew the gentleman was going to be a star. It's all about energy. When you have two sharks that come together, sharks know sharks.
Correct.
Like I know a shark, I know fish, but I knew he was a shark. Put it this way, when I first seen him, I thought he was famous already, to be honest with you. That's how strong that energy is.
Yes, yes.
I thought he was famous when I first seen him. So in working with him, it was one of those type of situations in which I think two sharks were vibrating on the same frequency. Mm-hmm. It's just been like I would say like a family affair the whole way. We just go. We swimming right now, and we get into, we got one common goal, and I think we're getting very close to it. And a lot of goals have already been accomplished. So I'll say working with Marty Price is, man, it's what a shark would like to do. Because at a certain point, sharks get tired of working with fishes. And
right.
There's a lot of fishes that are out here that got on a fake suit as if they are sharks, Right. So they're little tiny fish, but they put on the outfit, scamming people, and they say, hey, bro, I'm doing this and that. Them cats, they don't check out. Ain't nothing checked out. Mm-hmm. I would say probably within maybe a month or 2 months of, meeting Marty Price, we already had a credit in Excel magazine. We had a picture in there, a photo,
All right.
And we've done a lot together already. So it's been.
And that's good. So how was it with Boosie? I know I heard you was over there too. So
yeah,
tell me your experience.
Hey, the first thing that I noticed is that we was waiting on set for him to show up at the Airbnb. The gentleman Boosie came in deep with his whole crew. This photo place, smoke everywhere. The trademark smoke just blowing people out. And that was my first way I met him. And I'm like, yo, these cats, they just come this whole herd of people that's ready to go.
Right.
At that, there's a big story behind it, but he said, hey, say, man, we only got 2 hours. I gotta go. Say, man, I got somewhere else to be in 2 hours. So at that point, I don't know my megaphone. Hold on one second. So I had the megaphone, this is how I was directing the whole time. Because we had Boosie's people, we had the publicist with Marty, we had Final Draft, we had Zane, Airbnb full of like 50 people, so working with, and then having that in mind that, man, I gotta be able to talk directly to Boosie and everybody on set to just push this thing through in 2 hours instead of be all the professional on set. He was real easy to work with, and one part that was pretty funny was that after we finished the kitchen scene, we we're gonna go to the hallway scene. So it was just me and Boosie, and we had Matt. Matt was at the corner. He seen us at the corner. I was like, Boosie, when you say knock knock, duck your head out around the corner and knock on the wall a little bit. He says, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I was like, hey, That's cool. Let's you know what, forget, let's crash that one. Let's just keep moving. So I think out of that, he said, Sam, man, I'm not doing that. So I think out of that, he respected me. He was like, okay, this director here, he's he's not trying to pressure me into doing something I don't want to do.
Right. Right.
So it's pretty cool that after we got to the seat down the stairs, he was like in the middle of just everybody. He was like on one of the breaks, he was like, man. Essentially, he's like, man, I'd like you to work on one of my music videos, just talking directly to me. And so that was just kind of a testament of just being professional on set, with these that have already been in the game, that's, goats and things like that. So it was a great experience.
Oh, so that's wonderful. I mean, that's big steps there. So
yeah, definitely a great experience. I think that's definitely a stepping stone, for the team all together, not only CineDirektor, for the entire team that was present. So it was a great opportunity. And
for you to make yourself humble with 50 people, because I know it probably wasn't quiet.
Nah.
With 50 people, I know it was probably loud. So
yeah, it was kudos. But I appreciate it. I think it was just good. It was good. To be honest with you, it was good energy all around. Like I didn't feel no negative energy from anybody. Because there's so many people there. Like you don't know who's who.
Right.
And they had some ghosts on set. And just people that just were just there just to support. But the energy was so good that it was just easy to work. To be honest with you, like it was fun.
And that's good. Before we end this, can you tell our people where they can find you at?
Yeah, so the best place is on Instagram. CineDirektorFilms. CineDirektor. That's the German spelling.
I was just gonna ask you where did you come up with that name?
Well,
because it's very unique. I'm not even gonna lie. It took me a while to even say it right, but I got it.
Yeah, so I would say that once you start doing like your checks on like GoDaddy and checking out IG, Twitter, and the rest of them, and then you got somebody that's sitting on the director the English way, but they're not doing nothing with the account. And you try to contact them, they don't respond back. It's like, okay, that's my name. I'm gonna keep it regardless. So, I used to live in England, like I said earlier, and we took trips to Germany, so I knew that that's the way the German spell it with a K.
And that's dope.
That was it, CineDirektorFilms.
Well, Mr. Everett Jones, I thank you for taking your time out your day and including in this interview.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And I'd like to say congratulations to you on your endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Like this and just making so many moves. And it's people like yourself that give back and give a platform for other people to shine. You as a byproduct, you definitely become blessed because that's how the laws of giving and receiving work. You're giving back to somebody like myself, giving me a platform, and you'll see that you'll just continue to rise like a rocket ship and just take off.
I thank you so much. Again, guys, this is owner of CineDirektorFilms, Everett Jones.
Signing off. We out.
Leave you with the one in the air. That's how I roll. I got tons of soul. I'm a true collectible.